Many parents say they're fed up with public school, whether it's due to requiring masks or not requiring masks or the constant threat of possible quarantines. We've told you about the increased interest in homeschooling, but a growing number of families are also fleeing public school for private school. KCTV5's Leslie Aguilar is live at Harvest Christian School. Leslie, what about that school? Are they full?
Not quite yet, Brad, but they are getting calls from parents every day who are looking for an alternative to public school. Now, this school in particular does require masks, and they have a lot of other COVID-19 protocols to keep children safe. So a lot of the parents calling here are coming from districts who are more relaxed on their safety protocols. Now, Harvest Christian has a very low student-to-teacher ratio and a huge building, so it's easy to socially distance students. They're pre-K through 8th grade here, so many students are not eligible for the vaccine, but they do require masks. It's not just COVID protocols that are attracting more parents, though. It's the individualized attention a student can get from a smaller class setting. We also heard that same sentiment from the Kansas City Academy, another private school seeing an increased interest in enrollment. Students learning from home last year gave parents a chance to see their learning process for their child and seek out something different than what public school can offer.
A lot of parents have really learned a lot about how their kids learn and what environments they learn best in over the pandemic, and have kind of been reaching out to put them in a smaller, more supportive environment.
Parents have said that their students lost so much in that year and 3 months of school not being face-to-face.
Then we'll have perspective from a new private school student and a private school teacher. That's coming up at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in Kansas City, Leslie Aguilar, KCTV5 News.
Thanks, Leslie. As the pandemic drags on, scammers have. It has been a roller coaster for public schools the last year and a half because of the pandemic, and many parents say they've just had enough. KCTV5 is your school authority, and we've told you about the increased interest in homeschooling for many families. And now KCTV5's Leslie Aguilar reports on increased enrollment for private schools. So Leslie, what are parents saying about why they're looking into private schools?
Well, Brad, a lot of it has to do with controversial masking rules. So some parents feel strongly about, requiring them or not, and they find a private school that does what, they wish that their schools would be doing. But it also has to do a lot with just stability. Private schools are often a lot smaller with a less likelihood of quarantines and other interruptions.
We have had an influx of students from public school into Harvest Christian School.
Winifred Edwards says she gets calls from parents of prospective new pre-K to 8th grade students now more than ever.
Every day, and I love it.
Many parents just don't have faith in the public school setting after the roller coaster of last year. Nia Campbell has new students in her class who transferred from public school.
One of the parents said that they were kind of like pushed off in the shadows, and the teacher wasn't paying attention to them as much. So they came here to put them in the smaller class sizes.
Campbell did have to do hybrid teaching last year for a while with her classes of around 9 students. She can't imagine having to do it with a larger class size.
Even with the small class size, sometimes it can get overwhelming because it was difficult to teach somebody that's virtual and watch them on the camera, then have to teach and walk around the classroom.
It's a similar story at the Kansas City Academy for 6th through 12th graders.
A lot of parents have really learned a lot about how their kids learn and what environments they learn best in over the pandemic, and have kind of been reaching out to put them in a smaller, more supportive environment.
Even some people are off the charts.
Martha Sanders says the school has a wait list right now and more interested families every day.
It's longer than usual, and we have a wait list for more grades than we usually have.
The school has small classes, integrates arts into much of the curriculum, and requires masking despite 87% of students and staff being fully vaccinated.
I feel very safe here, and I just don't want to be at one of those places where people are like fighting not to have masks. I really don't want to be sick. And I've heard people who got COVID and got really sick. I just don't want anyone around me to experience that.
Now, Harvest Christian Academy here says last year they did have some families leave while they were virtual to do homeschooling, and most of those families did return due to how difficult homeschooling was. Both homeschooling and private school have seen an increased interest during the pandemic. Reporting live in Kansas City, Leslie Aguilar, KCTV5 News.
Yeah, parents and kids have been through so much. Leslie, thank you.